is that? What? Epidermal ridges. Good. Ridge in singular. Very good. So, this on the one hand, as you can observe, what we can distinguish at very first sight is the stratum basale, right? And these little brownish cells will correspond to melanocytes, okay? So, this superficial layer will correspond then to the stratum corneum. And these little, like purple lines, okay, would be the keratin, or the dead keratinocyte full of keratin, okay? That will protect the layers below the epidermis. Good. So, this is nearly the same image, but in here we can distinguish the papillary dermis and also the reticular dermis, as you can observe. Okay, so guys, maybe some of you can think about what are those holes. Shh. Guys, please. What are these blank spaces or little holes? So, let's think. Your name?
Noor. I have a retake practice. I'm with Emilia.
Ah, okay. Well, sit down over here.
Where?
There. Okay, so, guys, let's think about what those structures could be. Because you will have to differentiate those from sweat glands, hair follicles, etc. So, what is an important characteristic of the dermis compared to the epidermis?
Vascularized.
Exactly. The dermis is vascularized. We are going to find blood vessels. So, whenever you see these blank spaces, these little holes, those are blood vessels. Sometimes
they are filled with some pigmentation.
Yes, that's correct. That is the thing I was going to say. So whenever you see little red dots inside, those are no, the red dots.
Blood vessel.
No,
Blood cells.
blood which blood cells?
Red blood cell.
Red blood cells. Correct. Okay. So these holes are blood vessels, and inside we could see sometimes red blood cells or erythrocytes. Good, very good. So let's see how a hair follicle looks like. So it will depend on if you have a transversal section or a frontal or longitudinal section. So in here it's like obvious that we have a hair follicle because it has like the most typical structure of a hair follicle, and because, as you can see, inside this hair follicle, this brown line would be what?
The brown line.
The brown line, what is that? Hair. Exactly, it's just hair. Sometimes you're going to see this hair, and sometimes you won't, because it has already disappeared when the sample was prepared, okay? So in here we have one. This one doesn't have hair, for example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one is also a hair follicle. And on the other hand, we find these transversal sections in which we can also find hair follicles. Here we find one, another one, and I think there aren't more here.
No,
Well, there are, but
they're small.
they're smaller and they don't have this typical structure as these ones.
Teacher,
But yes,
just in the left picture, we don't have any longitudinal cut yet, or
yes, you will
this
see.
is actually one, the small one.
You will see this
Yeah.
and this.
This is the longitudinal cut, but I'm talking about just this image. There
Yes.
is a longitudinal cut in there or no?
No.
No,
No.
not yet.
No. The sample is cut it in a transversal section.
Okay.
So
Okay, that's what
if
you
I take one of my hairs, if I cut it just in the middle, that will be a transversal cut. If I cut it in a longitudinal or frontal section, I would find this. But remember, guys, that those are hair follicles. Yeah? Not the visible part. Yeah?
Yeah.
Perfect. So now, let's go with the glands. Let's talk about the sebaceous glands first. Remember that we need to know the type of gland that we have in here. Sebaceous are simple branched acinar glands that are always associated to a hair follicles because their ducts will open directly to this hair follicle. So, how they look like in reality when we see them under the microscope. So, all this part that you see here, this is a full sebaceous gland, and here we find another one. So, these secretory cells, or the acini, will look all together as a sac of white balls, little balls, and these little balls will be full of what? Fat, exactly, full of lipids. Very good. As you have here, fat droplets, okay? So whenever you see these sacs, they will be probably sebaceous glands. And how can we look for them? Look for a hair follicle, and most of the times you will see next to it a sebaceous gland or sweat glands. So remember, we have two types of sweat glands, eccrine and both have the same secretion mechanism, which is merocrine. Very good. So these eccrine sweat glands as well as the apocrine are simple coiled tubular glands that will secrete these ones. What? What is the secretion of these ones?
Sweat.
Sweat. And what is the composition of this sweat?
Water.
Water, salts, urea, ammonia. Very good. Very good, guys. So, they are related in which process?
And thermoregulation.
Thermoregulation. Very good, guys. So, the excretory duct will open directly to the surface of the epidermis. Okay? Very good. So, this is how these eccrine sweat glands look like under the microscope. As you can see, we find like little smashed donuts in clusters or groups, okay? So, this is a sweat gland, another one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? They are quite smaller or smaller than the sebaceous ones, as you are going to see, okay? So, we can distinguish two parts also in these sweat glands. The excretory duct that is formed by double layers. Margot, don't do photos. This excretory duct, as I was saying, is made of a double layer of cuboidal cells. And the acini, the secretory portion, is only made of one single layer, also of cuboidal cells. Okay? So, you just have to distinguish a sweat gland from a sebaceous. You don't need to know if you are looking for a duct or the secretory portion. Okay? Don't worry. But it's just for you to know how they look like. Okay? And about the arrector pili muscle, depending on if we have a transversal section or a longitudinal section, it will look different. So, the easiest way to distinguish an arrector pili muscle under the microscope is if we have a longitudinal section or frontal section. Because as you can observe, what we are going to see very clearly is like a bundle of these smooth muscle fibers that will look purple, pink, it depends. In here we can see them red. and they are going to be very close to a hair follicle. In here, it's more difficult to distinguish it, but as you can observe, we have this transversal section, which is very, very close to a hair follicle. Okay, so what is like several clues to distinguish a hair follicle from a sweat gland from a blood vessel? Okay, we have talked already about how a blood vessel looks like. For example, in this image, guys, we have several of them. One blood vessel, okay, you see them? But here we have a hair follicle, and sometimes it can be difficult to distinguish them from a sweat gland. So what is the trick? What is the clue? Okay, so as you can see, when we are searching for a hair follicle, they are going to be very, very big. You will see them very clearly. And they are bigger than a sweat gland, that they look in groups, and they are usually very, very small, okay? A hair follicle has different layers. We have the medulla, the cortex, the cuticle, and as these are hair follicles, they will have two more. In a sweat gland, we just find two or one, depending on if it is the duct or the secretory portion, okay? So those are two of the most important differences when you have to look for these structures, okay? So, what is next then? To know how to use the microscope, okay? All of you have already used a microscope before? Or?
Yes.
All? Easy, perfect. Okay, then we are going to review the different parts of the microscope. So, the ocular or eyepieces, what are they for?
Looking into.
To look to our sample, right? But these eyepieces contain ocular lenses, and the magnification can vary depending on the lenses that we have. So usually these eyepieces contain ocular lens of 10x. So what does this mean, 10x?
10 times bigger.
10 times bigger, exactly, very good. Right, so what is the difference then with the objectives? What are the objectives?
There is different kind of zoom.
Okay, these are the structures that are coupled to the revolving nose piece that will have different magnification, okay? So the most important ones are the 4x, 10x, 20x, and 40x. Sometimes we have the 100x, but this, depending on the microscope that you use, this is only used if we want, for example, to see samples with microorganisms, because we need to use an important element, which is the immersion oil or immersion liquid, which we are not going to use. Okay, so the 100x objective is blocked. So guys, I'm going to ask you something. If, for example, we are using these ocular lenses of 10x magnification with a 4x objective, what is the total magnification?
40.
40. Very good. So the same for the remaining ones. 100, 200, 400. Very good. Fine. So that's about the objective. Okay, the stage. The stage is the part of the optical microscope in which we are going to locate to put our sample. Okay? So, the sample preparation, our sample, should be always put with the stage clip. So, now guys, I suggest you to take out the hood from the microscopes to see all these parts and start to switching them on, connecting them, and observing all these parts.
Just about sweat glands. The lessons we the schema, number one, it's really like the main goal here. But when you see the microscope, it only looks like a circle.
Most of the time.
You say that sometimes it ends really like, but it's not really like an ingrown hair.
Yeah.
It looks like an ingrown hair.
Yeah.
I was good with it.
Okay, guys. Now that you have already connected and switched on the microscopes, please, Anna and Zach, what are you doing? Okay, so guys, you have on the table little boxes in which you can find several samples, several skin samples. So you're going to take one and put it in our stage, okay? Placing them with the stage clips, okay? Okay, so you can do it. Okay, listen guys, once you have already placed your sample preparation in the stage, we need to do something now. What? If it is switched off, yes, you need to switch on the light. Okay? So you will see a green button in the bottom, in the lateral part of the microscope to switch on it. Okay? So, okay guys. Thank you. Listen now and then you will have the time to see the sample. But now that it is switched on, we are going to focus our sample. And how do we do that? Using two knobs. The macrometric and the micrometric knobs. No, are you okay? You can go out if you want. Sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so, guys, please. First of all, what do we have to do with these two knobs? When we are using the first objective, which is the 4x, we are just going to focus with the macrometric knob. To do what? To just amplify our sample so that we can distinguish everything that we can see. So sometimes, or most of the times, you have problems with this first way of focusing the sample because the stage is very far away from the objective. So using this macrometric knob, you are going to place the stage closer to the objective so that you can see it better. But important guys, once you have finished focusing with the macrometric using the 4x objective, we are going to change the objective to the 10x one. So now what we are going to use from the 10x objective to the rest that we have, we are going to use only the micrometric knob. Why? Because this smaller knob is going to adjust better the amplification, to have a fine focusing, a fine adjustment of the field, okay? So, more structures. Guys, you will have the time to talk later, okay? So, structures related with the light regulation. We have the condenser and the diaphragm. The condenser, as its name says, will concentrate the light array on the sample, and it is placed below the stage, okay? The diaphragm, on the other hand, will regulate the amount of light. So the condenser is just going to concentrate this light that is being produced by the lamp here, and the diaphragm is going to regulate how much light is going to be put on the sample. So once the light goes to the sample by this diaphragm, we are going to be able to see the sample through the ocular lens of the eyepieces. Okay? So, steps to do a correct, to use correctly the microscope. So, it's important that you don't use like the maximum light that the microscope is able to produce, so that your eyes don't get very tired, okay? So, as I've said, we first use the 4x objective. We adjust the distance of the eyepieces depending on our eye's distance, okay? And we place the slide on the stage. The condenser and the diaphragm are not really used because normally by adjusting the amount of light with a little wheel that you have on the bottom lateral part of the microscope is enough, okay? So, for you to not have problems with the light, don't touch by now the condenser or the diaphragm. So, when we finish using the 4x objective, we adjust the focusing with the micrometric, so that we will get to see the smallest details of every structure that we want to see better in the field, okay? So, whenever you are using the 10x, 20x, and 40x, do not move the coarse knob or macrometric knob. Is that clear? Okay. Perfect. So now, guys, you will have the time to look for every structure in the skin that we have talked about previously, and if you have any doubts, please ask me or Emilia, who is a teacher also of anatomy and physiology. Okay? Go.
Just see things multiply.
I recommend you to see them if you have the time.
You just have to see them now. Or...
Yeah. Yes. Don't touch the condenser or the diaphragm. These have to be adjusted. No problem. I saw
Can you see sebaceous glands? I don't see it. Like sweat glands.
I think that might be it, but I'm not
The
sure.
little dot hair follicle.
That looks like that.
We have sweat. Those are sweat glands. You can't take a picture.
No, nor can I.
How did you take a picture? I can't even take a picture.
No, if you see a lot of blank spaces,
I know, because maybe the next Friday will
how do you
Yeah, most of it I could see like.
Yeah, I see a hair.
Yeah.
In all the samples, there are better state samples than others. So I suggest that you change the samples to see everything. To distinguish a sebaceous gland from a gland, or to see how and so Yes. Okay. What? You don't need to identify. No, I mean you have to identify what a sweat gland is, but you don't have to distinguish an apocrine from an eccrine.
We don't have to distinguish apocrine and eccrine.
No, I told you. Just a sweat gland.
Sweat gland and sebaceous.
Correct.
Okay, so that's
Sweat.
And we already found
Exactly. I think they are. Most of the time, it doesn't mean that they should be associated directly. They can be in groups far away, but not exactly next to a hair follicle. Most of the times it happens this with sweat glands. Sebaceous are more associated to hair.
No, my camera can't focus on in that microscope.
See?
I can't really, like I see hair follicle and I think sweat glands, but I don't see sebaceous. You don't see sebaceous, or maybe there is.
Okay. See them?
Oh yeah, thank you.
I can't see any of them either.
You can find sebaceous.
Yeah.
First of all, we're going to place it like that. Okay, wow, you have a lot. You done. Look, this sample is very good. And look, what you have here is a very good example of hair follicle, and on the left, next to it, a sebaceous gland.
Okay.
Look. It's just associated to the hair follicle. Do you see it? I recommend you to look with both eyes.
I can't, my both I can't focus. I see them multiplied.
No, it's just to be used to.
So is this sebaceous gland?
No. I think that is a nerve.
Like there's multiple.
No. Those aren't sweat or sebaceous glands. Okay?
And this one?
It's a hair follicle. Is that sweat glands?
Okay.
Sweat, hair follicle, sebaceous over there. Okay, I'm going to show you how the sample of microscope. Yes.
What vessels look like again?
Sorry?
What do sweat glands look again?
Like little dots.
But not white. They are
Yes,
white.
but I suppose that you know that already. I mean, you know already that in the papillary dermis there is areolar connective tissue, and in the reticular dermis, dense. Yes.
These, the round things, can you take a look?
Sorry?
Like these round things?
Yeah, I'll try. What am I on?
Yeah. They are blood vessels. You see that?
How did you do that?
I don't know, I just did. I can get to focus.
Maybe I'll just put it on. Nah, never mind. Just show me a hair, a sweat one.
Okay, let's see.
Director feels like a line
Oh, wait.
associated with the lumen of the vessel, but it can be maybe due to the sample preparation, but it's not. It's degenerate.
Oh, this one, I found one.
Oh, yeah.
I found one.
Nice.
No, they look like smaller holes.
Found the muscle. Yeah?
No, really, I don't know.
Yeah, fun. What do you have mine? What do you have mine?
Oh, wow.
What do you think? What do you think?
Well, basically, we had that. I understood that was sweat gland, and that this was a sebaceous gland. This is a sebaceous.
These two are sebaceous.
And the other one was low on sweat.
Show me the picture that. Yes, that's a sebaceous. Yeah, exactly.
What is a sweat gland?
Focus on that light. Try to get that light to magnify.
That would be her time one.
Look there.
Bro. My phone is.
Sweat glands. Yeah. Sweat glands are exactly. Sweat glands are quite smaller than the sebaceous.
But you said sweat glands have layers. What does that have?
Exactly. What is that?
Ok, voilà, j'avais raison.
Do we have to show it to her?
Yes.
Yeah, we found it.
The,
Find all of it. If you don't show it to her, she tells you.
the epidermis is
You don't have to show it.
You don't even have to take pictures.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Look what you have.
Don't know what that is. The back is man. Yeah, looks like.
this thing right here.
We are interpreting muscle.
We have actually one here also.
You got the same one as me. Just need a picture.
Yeah, we can find the hair follicle.
Yes. Yes.
My brother now and also.
But by now, that's everything.
I think.
Correct.
Oh, we have like a very brown part out.
That's hair. Everything here is. Can I check yours?
You have to.
Wait, do you have to take pictures of it?
Yes.
You have to take a picture.
I don't know. I think this is.
Yeah, they are. You have to take a picture.
They are.
Take a picture of it.
Yes.
Just take it. Just take the picture. Take the picture.
That's a little muscle.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That's a hair follicle and it's the back is kind of.
You guys got it.
toujours fait ce truc.
How's yours? You want to see mine?
C'est quoi ces films?
Faut vraiment que tu le gros. Ouais, mais il manque eux là. Comment il va le faire? Ouais, détente. Bah c'est chiant parce qu'il y a des trucs des fois d'inverse Sébastien au souhait. Mais en vrai t'as une chance sur deux, c'est pas ce talent. Ça c'est bon. Oh c'est attends, tu l'as pas
Wait, hold on for my dream yesterday. It was actually my dream yesterday. I feel so like
Yours is cool. I have to look in the microscope to know what is this. I think they are sebaceous, but I'm not sure.
Mais là, le frère, je vois même pas de quoi je suis parti, je vois que le jour dans son truc. Mais attends, frère.
By now,
T'as rien.
yes, that's another
Mais même
photo.
je sais pas quoi, je sais pas si t'as vendu. Regarde. Je m'en venais aussi.
These
T'es reçu là?
surrounds these structures are these.
Ah voilà, voilà. Tu l'as?
Maybe you are in the hypodermis. I don't know. I should look in your sample. Okay? But you have this.
Ah,
Yes. Let's do. Okay, guys, sit down. Sit down. Let's check if you know how to recognize in this field all these structures. Okay, so guys, what is this?
A hair follicle here.
And what are those?
Sweat glands.
Who says sweat? Who says sweat? Raise your hand. Sweat? No one. Who says sebaceous? Is sebaceous. Lorenzo, come on. Come on, man. Okay. Something else. What is this?
It's something.
This is the erector pili muscle, the smooth muscle.
Is the erector pili muscle. Exactly. Okay? As you can see, here we have this bundle of very thin, smooth muscle fibers. Okay? And this
Sweat.
sweat. Okay? So compared to the sebaceous ones, they look quite small. Okay? And guys, what is this?
Well, what's the...
Very good. Okay. So, guys, in 5 minutes, we are going to start the first part of this practical activity assessment. That consists of the identification by using the optic microscope or any structure that you should recognize by now. Okay? So I give you 5 minutes more to solve your doubts in case you have them, and then we start. Okay? You are going to use your own microscope to look for the structure. Okay? This is usually the way the sample must be conserved, and sometimes, yeah, exactly. Sometimes it is you should distinguish not in your sample, but you can ask for the sample of your classmates. The assessment consists in that.
And I showed you before the
I think so. No, because sometimes, as I told you, yes, but sometimes they can have because I don't see you look under the microscope, but sometimes
Supposed to be a sweat gland.
That thing, it's unclear. I think, or a blood vessel.
T'as là, t'as trouvé ou pas?
I'm gonna think it's a blood vessel because it has dots in it.
C'était 2004, ouais. Il fait une flat avec le mondial. Faut que tu le décales, attends, je vais pas le dire. T'arrives à les reconnaître là, ce que c'est? Ouais, il y a des points. Ça, c'est la c'est masculin. C'est masculin. Ouais. Et ah là, il y a un zoom de baiser sur l'activation. Et ça, c'est avec on a tout pour l'instant, nous. Regarde, son zoom, il est nul. C'est parfait ce qu'il a. C'est que sur la sévation aussi. T'as au courant que ça en tout cas, son échantillon il est parfait. Hein. Toi, il est bien colorié. Lui, il est rose. Mais regarde, c'est là.
Because this is not
Ça va? T'as raté quoi? Un autre angle ou?
the shape is very irregular. This is too big to be a blood vessel, and it's not very well preserved. And sometimes the tissue, whenever it's taken to make samples, can be damaged.
Elle n'aime pas les filles, mais elle adore les garçons.
Yeah, the muscle. Just the muscle. Just the line, that's the muscle. That's the muscle. But she's gonna tell you find an erectile line. Here I think 2 points or 0.
Là, il y a que la même classe.
Yeah, we just put to cite the best air, sweat, and erectile.
Oui, j'ai peur, mais ouais, ça va.
If we had samples of our sternum here,
Ah, same. We do the same. Voilà, twins. We copy now.
Okay, no, I don't know.
Okay, we are not the because we are Arab. Same family here. I'm here. You're here. Sorry. Yeah, no, it's just
no, it is a blood vessel
so
that
I'm here, you're here, and then Sarah and Tanya are here. We all are here. This is Harmony.
You can't even see my name right when you're talking about media. You can't even see my name
this one. Here we don't find arteries, so that would be connected.
Non, mais sérieux.
Sarah? I can't, sorry. I can't tell like what that is.
I think that it could be an irregular or damaged blood vessel because it doesn't have like a normal structure of, for example, an hair follicle. Okay, like this one. This will be a hair follicle.
Okay, thanks.
No, but we didn't find them to distinguish them from a
C'est quoi les infos que tu as C'était vraiment moi non.
Yes. Yes.
From my one. That's sebaceous.
Yes.
Could be a blood vessel. And these.
Those are
Un peu, ouais.
yes.
Genre, nos parents, c'est un lien, genre. Non, non, c'est un lien. Genre, les.
Okay, thank you.
Ah, c'est une tante qui souffre. Mais genre, c'est la femme.
Yes. Yes.
Genre, très éloigné.
No, that's this will be a blood vessel. And why is that? Yes, exactly. And that's a hair follicle. Guys, just for you to know,
Ah, Maria.
I'm seeing all of you using your phones to take pictures, to know how to distinguish all these structures. But remember that you need how to use the microscope. Just as a reminder, okay? To use the microscope, to focus.
They're not using the This is a practice, you know. I just tell him that because I think they're not understand that. N'oubliez pas que les questions qu'on a apprises, c'est sur ça et pas sur ça. Ce qu'elle veut me dire. Mais n'oubliez pas que les tests. Mais là,
Quand il y a un point à l'intérieur de la cellule blanche,
Il m'a gâché mon année. Gâché mon année.
Let's see what this is.
Et il était des oreilles trop jolies.
What should I be looking?
No, like the purple thing.
The purple thing. That's.
No, it's like. Oh, I think I might have got. I think it's that.
Ah, okay. You are in the subcutaneous tissue already. This is not dermis anymore.
Oh, I can see.
Okay? But don't worry about that.
Okay.
Okay? So guys, please sit down and listen. Time's up to look the samples, okay? So, as I've said, the first part of the assessment starts. So how it is going to be. Within 10 minutes, you will have to find the structure that I'm going to tell you, okay? And you will have 2 attempts. If you find the correct structure at the very first attempt, you have 2 points. If you don't, then you have another try. If then you are right and you have found it, you have 1 point. If you haven't found it, 0 points. But this is just the first part of the assessment. After that, we are going to do a written test, okay? The 8 points left, right? So, half of you will go out while the other stays doing this first part, and then we change. So, all of you, this part of the class, out. Sorry. 1 moment. An important thing. I need you to take out the samples from the microscope, to disconnect them, to switch off them, and put on the hoods.
But you know that some samples are very, very, very clear. During the exam, I mean, it's more easier for some people.
Better for them.
But you have to touch only one microscope and you do the same. Like move all around.
You'll see. Well, it's your turn. Okay.
Si, je sais, j'ai révisé.
Hey guys, please be careful with the samples, okay? I don't want them in the floor. The what? Which is the diaphragm. Yes. The diaphragm controls the amount of You. Put on the food. I know that this is not your table, but thank you very much. Very good. Aaron, you. Zach, out. Disconnect this. This one is the... Don't worry about the laptop. You are going to be inside after. Two of you. Thank you. Okay. So now you will change the tables. Wait. Two here. Two of you here. No, one. Just one. Go quickly. Two. Okay, you two. Two. Three of you. Three here. And you change the seats. So you here and you four. That's it. We change the table? Yes. Okay, Noor, out. We will do it after because there are no enough microscopes. Okay. Okay, everyone